Okay, hi Matthew, here you go. Your model's eventually loaded into the machine. This just is a virtual model of a 3D printing machine. It happens to be an Ultimator 2. Cura is free, you can download it. It's just what you call a slicer, which every model has to be sliced. Key points to look for when you load your model in is this model is OK. Anything in yellow is OK, it's going to print out well. Anything in red needs some support, and you can talk about support later when you've got your own thing. Sort of essentially means it's got to print stuff to, because you can't print in come on, wake up. Okay, oops, I've just shrunk it down a little bit. Why are you locking up? There you go. If you noticed, I switched. Okay, so went over to view mode. There's your model. So let's have a look at it in more detail. Switch to layers. It takes a while to slice. As you can see, it was a 10-hour slice, so my computer's quite slow. So it might take a while for it to actually go through the model and cut it into slices, which are essentially 0.2 of a millimeter thick. And it's hung up again. Is it hanging up? I'm just going to leave this to run for a little while. No, there you go. It's starting to slice there. All right, okay. It's quite a complex model, so you can see it's working okay. It's working fine. It's just my computer's a bit slow, and I've got about 10 things on the go here. Never mind, it's coming. It'll be worth it in the end. And it always pays. Whenever I've done any 3D printing, it always pays to do this beforehand, before sending it off or anything, so you can spot any problems. You can see up here, you can set how it is now. This is just set on a light infill, which is recommended. You know, it's not bad. You don't really want it holographic, is it? Yeah. But obviously it takes a bit more time. Goodness me, it is a big model. Okay, here's where you can see enable support. That's the bit I haven't enabled it because it's the thing about support is you've got to cut them off, and that can be quite problematical actually cutting them off. It leaves scars and all sorts of little sort of if you like sprue marks. It needs a lot of support. It's a real bugbear. Nearly done, come on, goodness me. So yeah, it pays this in. If it was my model, I would essentially, there you are, it's starting up a bit better, that's better. If it was my model, I would split it down the middle and rotate each half, and then join them with a bit of super glue. That way you will lessen, there you go, you lessen your force. There you can see it's got 399 layers. If you change, big plus point, if you change one number here, you can start to use the arrow keys. So I was really pleased when I found that out. And you can see now I'm actually running down. The computer's not keeping up because I'm going to try and run it all the way down to the bottom. You know, it's catching up. There you are. It's beginning. So once you've got into here, you essentially take it all the way down to the bottom, which is the very first layer it's going to print. Dunk. There you are, there's the very. Okay, red's the important bit. You want to be watching the red. As you can see there's blue, which is helpers, what you call helpers, which is just extraneous stuff, which you'll pull off later. But can you see there's essentially one red line. As I move up, you can see, if I zoom in a little bit closer, can I? Yeah. I can zoom in really close. If you notice the point there, you might get away with that, but essentially that yellow is also printing. That yellow is printing into thin air. Yeah, so that's something to watch out for. Like I say, what you're looking at is that's the red's printing there, the red's printing there, there's red's printing there, and now there's a layer of yellow. Now there's a gap there between the bed of the machine and yeah, and again you're coming up, that's okay. So and that's okay. That's looking okay. The crisscrossy bits, crisscrossy. That's okay. Takes it. I can see how you're still okay, but if you notice on the wings there, your wings have just tried to print out. Now that's like squeezing toothpaste into thin air. There's nothing to hang on to, so you would have to print supports, and that's what you're looking out for. Yeah. So you can come up and you can see it's printing into the left and right wings are printing into thin air. That's looking okay. That's looking okay. Looking okay. Looking okay. I mean, it's a bit tedious, but yeah. And now the far right at the back there, you can see again, you've got stuff here which is printing into thin air. Like I say, best analogy I can think of is just taking a toothpaste tube and printing out. There are ways around it. It pays to look at these sort of things though, because it becomes cheaper. You know, it's quicker to print out. It's just good practice to do this sort of thing, if you see what I mean. And that's all looking okay. 2, 3, and again, let's go back down a little bit. Yeah, there's some little bits that are, yeah, okay, that's not, no, that's okay, that's got something to print on. That's okay, that's okay. No, yeah. So for this one, let's just see if I can get rid of the, now how I'm going to get rid of the bottom, but whether or not if you send it to Shapeways or somewhere like that, whether they do that for you, I don't know. What I'm going to do is move it down, say 2mm. That's better. And then start coming up. Okay, let's see if we can start coming up now. What happens? Yeah, that would have cured it. Okay. Best thing is, I'll look there. I would, if it was me, I would rotate it. I mean, you can do this yourself. Rotate it 90 degrees and move it down. There you go. Now this is quite good because it's now looking at it. Let's just change it to solid. Oh, I've hung up the machine again, man. Oh no, it's slicing again. I don't know if you can see what I've done there, but I've just basically turned it sideways. It's better if you do that in your model. You know, split it down the middle, print your 2 halves, and then looking at it, I think it would, yeah, it would probably be okay. You can see what's happened with here is half the model is inside the bed. That means it doesn't print. Half the model is above, but you can see, yeah, it's still slicing. Here, you'd probably get away with that. There's be printing here, printing here, printing here, printing here. Might be a bit of a problem here. I would split the wings off. Looking at it, it's taken forever. This is just my machine there. But try and change the view mode to solid. There you are. No, that's better. It's catching up. You can see that there's nothing supporting this bit. Yeah. So you can print it that way, and then, yeah, I'm just trying to think how I would do it. Yeah, I would cut that off, make that into a separate piece. This is okay. This is okay. This is a separate piece. And along with others, I'm thinking, in many respects, it is better. You've got some nice bits of panelling there, here, and there, which are ideal job for laser cutting. And I would be going more towards laser cutting and getting these bits 3D printing. Let's say, and stuff like that. That's a 3D printer. Like say, I'm fortunate in that where I live, we have print machines in the library. Hold on, I'm just trying to rotate it for you. No, rotate, come on. Thank you. And I've been experimenting for the last 6 weeks with these sort of... Oh, that's quite interesting, okay. Right, okay. You can see you can do that sort of thing as well, which... But again, it's all down to the rotations. There's the other half. And that will print out, say, take 10 hours printing. Looking at it a bit more closely. I mean, do, you know, just, that's okay. Yeah, it's still stuck on. Yeah, I really would be inclined to cut panels and use 3D printing for the thing. Okay, mate, anyway, that's long enough video. Cheers. Good luck anyway. Get back to us if you need that.